Hey guys, my name's Drunk Penguin and today I am here with the review of How to Train Your Dragon 3, or what I would say for its initials, HTTYD. It's a bit of a weird way of saying it, but hey. Let's get straight into this video. Okay, so for the film is actually really good. I've just seen it, absolutely amazing, and I'm gonna go through the pointers and narrow down on the things that I think were really good and also not that great. So let's get into the good parts for now. So the great thing about this film is it kind of resembles um, what real life events are like. And how I say that, I know it's like a story about Vikings and dragons. How is that relatable? Well, the relationships within it are very much relatable, and it tackles a very big thing within um, real life, which is like friendships and that kind of stuff. Um, Once again, no spoilers for this film. I'm trying my best not to spoil anything. So be in mind if I say something that doesn't really make sense, because I'm trying to not spoil anything too big. So yeah. Um, but this film, the characters or the art design really is so good. It's such an improvement. Like, even if you go back to the first film, you see how it improves from the first film to the second film to the third, and it's such a big improvement. You can notice it straight off the bat, which I love. It's a really good design choice of like how they made the Vikings and how they made the dragons. It's really cool. Also, as it's a HTTYD, or How to Train Your Dragons, I'm gonna keep on saying HTTYD just for a shorter, narrower point. But yeah, for all of the series, the films have, and the series, if you don't know, I've seen the series by the way. All of it, they have their funny parts, and this film has its funny parts, without a doubt. It is so good. Um, some parts are a bit frustrating in like character and what they say, but it actually works out because it kind of plays a funny role within the story. Once again, no spoilers. I'm trying my best, guys. Be with me. Um, but yeah. So the big thing about this film is it's very much like it's others and like other animated films. It has that kind of Disney DreamWorks kind of feel, like Shrek, Shrek 2, all of those others. I can't think of any others from the top of my head, but yeah. It's very similar to those kind of stories where it starts off good, it goes slightly downhill, and then it jumps to a really good thing. Try not to spoil it again. I know that might be saying too much, but I'm trying my best to keep it as plain as sand, really. Um, so yeah. But a big thing about this film is the characters. The characters look awesome. Hiccup is awesome. All of them are weird, funny, and has their kind of actions that make them different. A bit of a weird thing with this film is a few of their characters and how they kind of act, especially since from the second film of how that ended. You definitely have that kind of feel on what Hiccup and the other kind of characters are going through and what they're looking towards. You definitely get to see that, and it's actually a really good, nice representation of it. Um, but like every single film, there are a few parts, a few parts that are quite not bad, but interesting in is that right kind of way. So one big thing about the actual film is the villain or the villains. Um, the actual proper villain, even though they make it quite of a background character, you still feel like you don't know him. It still feels like it's like there's not much you get to learn from him and why he's doing that. You get to know why, but it doesn't feel like there's kind of a big connection to feel like you need to, well, kind of have a good connection with that character. With the other ones, like a visual representation of the character, like the other films in HTTYD, the first one, you got uh, I forgot his name now. No, in the first film you had the normal dragons, and then for the second film you had Drago Bloodfist, and for this one a different character altogether. Different films kind of feel like they have a bit more backstory towards the character or the villains than this one, and it's a shame. It really is a shame. Because it just doesn't feel like you need to pay too much attention to their story, and I think that's a big thing about it. Is the villain just doesn't seem to be right, but you get to know the reason why they're fighting, why they're doing the stuff that they're doing. So yeah, a big thing as well. Another big thing is the costumes that the characters have. It's interesting, it's a bit weird, but it's cool. When you first see them, they're like they're very strange. It's kind of like the second film where you have their outfits, you're not too sure about them, but throughout the film you get used to it, and I think that's a good part. Um, but just like when you visualize it, or when you visualize them in those characters, or the characters within those suits, or within those kind of like uniforms, you find it a bit weird. But as you're going through the story, you understand why they're wearing their uniforms, why they're wearing kind of their armor type thing, and why they're like that. So yeah, and also, uh, Toothless. His In this film, Toothless is amazing. The whole characters, the whole dragons are amazing. Because you guys know that I've been excited for this film ever since I saw that trailer. The trailer that I reacted to a couple of days or weeks ago. I think it was a week ago. And man, I was so excited for this film to come out, and I still am. I love it. There's nothing much to like really talk about other than the fact that I just love dragons and Vikings and the story. I've always felt quite connected to the characters, and I kind of felt like I fell in love with that world. And at the end of HTTYD 3, you really kind of felt kind of like it's very similar to, well, not very similar, but it kind of ties into what our world is kind of roughly about, even though it's not our world. It kind of has that kind of feeling of like stories and legends and that kind of thing. It brings that to a fruition kind of visual, well, repetition, I think, or idea. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm just trying to like make this sound really cool, and definitely go see it. My actual Drunk Penguin rating for this film out of 10 is 9.5, and it's so close to being perfect. It's actually amazing. The only thing that I have a bit of a wood quarry is just with the villain. The villain is the only thing that kind of feels like they kind of rushed. They needed to have kind of like a person to tie everything together with, and then they just thought, you know what, we'll bring this character in and we'll make him seem like a really, really bad guy. There's a kind of like an intuition kind of part to why he's kind of doing things, why, like, how it grew up. It's like it just tried to make it like this villain was very much like Hiccup, but we already had that connection kind of piece in the second film, which was a bit weird. But honestly, to God, I love this film. I love dragons. I love Vikings. I love it, and I love the whole lore all of it. So if you're very much the same fan as me and you love dragons or you love the HTTYD universe, definitely go and check out the other films and definitely check this film out. Its ending is undeniable. One last thing that I do have to say is that this film does feel like it's the end in its series. So to me, if somehow they bring another one into the act, or maybe they make like I forgot the word of it. It's not a prequel. It's a sequel. If they if they somehow try to find a way to make another film out of this, it's gonna feel to me like it's just a cash grab. If they make another film out of the series, it's just gonna feel like it's forced. It's not for entertainment wise, it's just for merchandise kind of thing, which is all good and all, but you kind of don't want to have that mindset. And this film definitely ties off and kind of feels like it's the end of the story for Hiccup and his friends and Toothless and his friends. So, yes. That's the only thing that I have a bit of a thing with at the end, and even though I didn't see it in IMAX or 3D or any of the others, just natural plain 2D, in my hometown like cinema, it's not the best place to see it, but I wish I would have gone to see it somewhere else, but oh well. Still loving it, still loved it, and I can't wait to see your views on the film. So if you've already seen it, go down to the comments below. Tell me what your thoughts, either good, bad, or your ratings, 1 out of 10. How would you put the film or the trailers? Are you looking forward to the film? Tell us down below. Also, leave a like on this video if you do like the universe of How to Train Your Dragons. Tell me down below, or just hit that like button to let me know that you are also a fan of the franchise, because then we can be best friends all together. So yeah. But either way, guys, thank you so much for sticking by, and thank you for the huge support that I've had recently on this channel. So either way, guys, be like a penguin, stay cool, and I will see you guys and girls in the next video of whatever I make, because this penguin is out. Yeah, that's a good way to end it. Good way to end it.